Hi guys, it's been a minute. So yeah, I've been feeling pretty bad lately, and I finally went to a doctor yesterday. Like I hate going to doctors, and like I got to be like dying to go to one pretty much. But my my mom really wanted me to go and get some antibiotics, and I guess it's probably a good thing that I did. I actually didn't just get antibiotics. I let them give me a shot, which is also like unheard of because I'm not a big fan of taking injections that I don't even like. You just going based off what they're telling you is in it. But I do feel a little bit better today, so hopefully I didn't get it inoculated with anything weird. But yeah, so I've been thinking a lot about where I want this channel to go, and if I just talk like without any type of filter, I'm gonna get in trouble. And you know, I said I was gonna get into who runs the world and all that stuff, but it might be a little bit too early for that. And they're probably just gonna shut this down if I start talking about that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna get banned, and so for now, I think it's probably best that I try to be real careful of what I say, and but that being said, like, if I can't say what I really want to say, then like what's really the point? But I think there's plenty of other stuff we can talk about before I go get myself in all kinds of trouble. So I remember somebody had said that I should show you guys how I built the guitar, and that is a pretty tedious, painstaking process. And at the time when I did that, I had 24/7 locked in a cage with nothing else to do but that. So I might be able to come home after work and mess with that and try to put a video together doing that. Or I could just tell you guys about how I did it. So I told you a little bit. I saved up like probably 400 legal pads, like the cardboard backings. Now, basically, I built it like a 3D printer. Those little cardboard pads are just thin little cardboard strips. And in prison, they sell sewing kits, so you can like fix your clothes. And there's needles in those sewing kits. So basically, we made our own tools. So you take one of the little flexible pin tubes and stick a needle down in it and wrap it up with like magazine paper and stick it all down there, and put glue on there too, and twist it all up so that it's like hard and it's like a little scraper, like a little point. So then you basically draw out all the pieces that you need, like the headstock, the neck, and you draw every little piece with a pen, and then you take the sewing needle that you made a little instrument out of, and you score the lines that you drew, and you create the piece that you need, and then you just keep making those pieces over and over and over, and you stack them like a 3D printer until you get the shape that you want. So once you want to start putting it all together, we use glue and water. And if it weren't for Planker, it probably never would have. Like, me and him, we both wanted to play guitar, and we both made it, but without his we couldn't have made the bridge without his glasses. So yeah, you lay out the headstock, the neck, the body, all that, and then build it up like a 3D printer and soak it in glue and water. Let it dry, soak it again, let it dry, soak it again, let it dry, until finally it gets hard as hell. Now, to make like the nut and the bridge and all that, we had to have Planker's glasses. He had some like old tortoise shell like reading glasses, and we broke them, and we took the earpiece right here, and we made little saws. So how to make a little tiny saw in prison? Well, it's starting to rain. I bet you I don't work tomorrow. So you take here's the turtles. These turtles want food. You take oh wait, I put the food inside. There's been a skunk or some kind of animal out here trying to eat into my dog food dish. But so you take a paper clip and you straighten it out, and then you take a pair of toenail clippers and create little burrs on it. Check out. That's crazy, like how they'll hear me out here talking, or they'll hear me open this back door up and just show up like, hey, feed me, bro. And I do, because I like them. Okay, where was I? So you take paper clips and you take the toenail clippers and like chew the end of it up, right, and give it like little burrs, and then you can just use it like saw back and forth, and it will saw through the eyeglasses, and you cut a piece off like this, like as wide as your guitar neck, and then you make 6 even grooves in it, equidistant apart, you know, so that the strings can go through that when you tighten them up. But yeah, we had a nut and a bridge, and the way, like, we didn't have like really like high-tech tuning pegs, you know, so the way that we did that is to make it to where we could just twist the strings up and as you keep twisting them and twisting them and twisting them, they get tighter and tighter and tighter. And so where we got the string for that, they used to have girls in Trenton at one point, but I think they had like just moved them out or something, but we had to go and like repaint the female unit where they were at. And if y'all think dudes are bad, yo, that was nasty. I've never seen no filth like what we cleaned up off that female unit. Like they was well, I mean, the dudes do that too. They throw, what do they call that, biological warfare. Yeah, there's just a lot of real insane stuff that happens in that place. But anyway, we had to clean up the girl tier, clean up all their old bloody crap everywhere, and we had to repaint it. And you know, they have like lines on the floor, like don't cross this line or you're gonna get beat up. So you know, we had to like repaint all those lines in the floor, and to paint those lines they have nylon string, and you know, you pull a string line and you paint that line. And well, we stole the nylon string from the painter's cart and brought it back to our cell, and that's what we made our guitar strings out of. It was all twisted up together, so you can take it and untwist it and get a little tiny fine string, which is what we use for the high E string. Then for the B string, it was like 2 of the little fine pieces. Then the G string was like 3. Then on up to, you know, once you get up to the low E string, it was like 2 whole pieces of string that hadn't been split down. But so yeah, you have thick string and they get thinner and thinner and thinner as you go down, and we just tighten them up to where, you know, we didn't have any tuners or anything, so you have to, you know, use the 5th fret method where you make this string sound like this string and the next one sound like that. You know, I don't know if you guys know how to do that or not, but that's how we tuned it. And yeah, I remember like I called Emily on the phone and I played the song "Sweet Dreams" by Marilyn Manson, and I was like, "What song was that?" And she told me, so I was just like, "Hell yeah, my guitar works." But so yeah, we had that guitar for quite a while, several months, and there was they put a chomo in there, and the cops, they like to tell on them guys, and like tell when they come in there, like the police will put them on blast and tell what they did, because they want somebody to hurt them. And but anyway, so I didn't mess with the police like that, but I guess Planker knew it somehow. I don't know who they told, but they told somebody, and it got to Planker, and this Mexican guy, like, he came and used the shower that was right outside of our cell door, and Planker yelled out the little pie flap to him and said, "Hey," he said, don't ever come use the shower again, because we don't want to look at you, because we know what you did." He said, "If you ever use the shower again, we're gonna snatch you off in here and beat you to death." Now he said we. I never threatened to do it. I didn't say I was gonna do nothing to him. But anyway, so that guy, he went to the cops, pressed the button, told them that we threatened him and we were gonna kill him, and so they came and ripped all our stuff apart, and they took our guitar. Said it was a weapon that we could use to kill somebody with. But I bet you they still got that. I bet you they put that in like the Trenton. They got a little museum with all kinds of little shanks and stuff that they found. I bet you our guitar is in there. So there's one other thing too. I was telling another story that I can only remember ever one time making somebody show me their paperwork. Well, I remembered another time after I told that story, and I don't know. I might as well set the record straight while I'm thinking about it. So yeah, there's one other time that I can remember. Maybe I should tell you about Super Dave first, because Super Dave is like part of the story. All right, we'll talk about Super Dave. So I tell you, I spent like half the whole time I was in Trenton in Ad Seg, and the majority of that time was for a dirty urn for THC. And yeah, I told that whole story about how I was gonna like lie to my mom, and then I got stoned, and I was like, I can't believe I was gonna lie to my mom. Like, so if smoking weed makes me realize that lying to my mom is wrong, then I should probably smoke weed. But anyway, as we were coming out of Ad Seg and going back into population, they make you go back through orientation, like when you first came in the building. It's like you were in another prison and now you're coming back or something. But anyway, I'm back in that orientation room, and there was only one other white dude in the whole room, and he was like sitting to the right of me, and I kind of struck up a conversation with him and was like, "You just getting here?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I've been here couple years now, like they talk it up like it's real horrible, but I don't it ain't as bad as what people let on, like you mind your own business and do you, and don't act tough, and you'll be all right." I was like, "There ain't a lot of white people." I said, my cellmate back in the South Compound, my bunkie, me and him just got out of Ad Seg they put us back in there for a year for a dirty urine. And I was like, "He's cool, man, but he killed his girl, though. He strangled his girl." And the dude was like, "Me too." And like, so I'm just like, "Damn, this dude's crazy." So anyway, they send us back to the South Compound, and like we're walking there. I'm like, "Yeah, this place ain't even that bad. Like I ain't had to fight nobody. Like the whole time I've been here, nobody bothered me." I was like, "I got in a couple fights in the county, and every time it was over the TV. It was over a show Lockup, because I wanted to watch Lockup and try to see, try to school myself on going to prison, I guess, so I know what to expect. I guess is why I wanted to watch it so bad." But dude goes, "Oh shit," he said, "I'm gonna be on that shit this week, son." I said, "What?" I said, "Shut up." He's like, no, for real, son, I'm gonna be on that this weekend. And man, we get in there, get in the cell, and turn the TV on, and I swear it was probably that same day, that day or the next day, I see the commercial come on. It's like, all new Saturday night, Bergen County lockup, and they got this dude's picture like on the commercial, like smile, that crazy evil little smile he smiled when he told me he strangled his girlfriend. And yeah, and I made the mistake of telling my mom, like, hey mom, man, my dude's gonna be on lockup this weekend. So my whole family sat and watched the shit, and my mom is like, Jacob, get away from that guy. What if he tries to strangle you in your sleep? Did you see his little hands? And I was like, man, if he's smart, he'll get a razor blade or sharpen something up and stick me while I'm asleep. Because if he tries to choke me, I'll get up and body slam his ass. But, so yeah, Super Dave, man, like, he was a pretty likable dude. But what he did, man, was just insane. So his name's David Goodell. And he's the reason why there are no more furloughs in New Jersey halfway houses. So this dude was at a halfway house. He was getting ready to go home. And I guess he found out like that his girl had cheated on him. And like he told me the whole story before I seen it on MSNBC Lockup. And he told me a lot of stuff that ain't on that show. But anyway, she cheated on him and dude just couldn't handle it. You know, he flipped out. And he was in the halfway house. He told his bunkie, he said, watch this shit. He said, I'm going to kill this bitch, watch. And he like flopped out on the floor and pretended he was having a seizure like that little boy on the Client, the John Grisham movie. But yeah, he faked the seizure. They took him to the hospital and didn't handcuff him to the bed. And he waited till nobody was around. He snuck out of there. He got to a phone. He called this girl up. Said, I'm at the hospital, come pick me up. And she did. And he walked out, he got in her car. He said, do you love me? And she said, yeah. And he said he grabbed her by the hands and put her hands down under his knees. Now that kind of don't make sense to me, because if somebody was strangling me to death, I could get my hands out from under their knees. But anyway, yeah, he strangled her to death in the car. He said he wanted his eyes to be the last thing she ever saw. Like he cold-bloodedly took her life. And people did kind of like make fun of him for that in there, you know. And you know he tried to play it off like, no, it wasn't no sucker for love type. You know, like it was over money, that she got him for money. But everybody knows the truth. It was some sucker for love shit. Like, he just couldn't stand the fact that, you know, she gave that away. So yeah, I mean that's Super Dave. I can tell you some more stories about him. Like, so there was another kid that I messed with, and actually, when I got my settlement, I bailed him out of jail because he hadn't been home to see his parents in 7 years. And but that's beside the point. But I remember when I said something about Super Dave to this kid, Brian, and he's like, you know him? I'm like, yeah, I know him. He's like, that dude shot out, man. He bit somebody's ear off. But then when I talked to Dave about it, I'm like, yo, did you bite somebody's ear off? He's like, nah, I bit their nose off. But yeah, he's a crazy dude. And I guess the police about beat his ass to death. Like, and they're probably still doing it. But one of the last times I talked to him, he said that the cops had come in there in his room, like, middle of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, like 10 deep. And was like, so you like killing little girls, huh? And just beat his ass, fucked him up with billy clubs and everything, you know, like, they're making him pay for it, for sure. And, like, it's weird to sit here and talk about these people, like, you know, because they kind of were my friends. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have nobody else. That's all I had. And, you know, I guess in a place like that, it's a rare thing to find somebody that didn't murder an old lady or some little kids, or, you know, like, I'm not saying that it's respectable to kill your girlfriend, but, like, two of the, you know, several dudes that I've, you know, messed with in there did that, you know, killed their girls, and I can't fathom doing something like that, and it almost makes me feel like I do feel kind of guilty for claiming these guys as my, like, what does that say about me, you know? But I guess, you know, I try not to judge people, which is not always the best, you know. Sometimes you should judge people, but you know, it's a weird thing for me to like look back and ponder, you know, like where I've been and how I got there. Like I can remember being just in the middle of like gangland and just thinking about my childhood, like on a cattle farm in the middle of nowhere, like, you know, like I'm from the country, you know, like they don't do this where I live, and just it's a trip, man. So let's see, this has only been 21 minutes now. So, all right, I'll tell you the other story about this dude named Carl. So, well, let's see, how did it start? Okay, so I had a bunkie named Ricky Rodriguez, and he called himself Double R. And he was one of them, like, he was back there in ad sec throwing poop and pee on people. And I remember thinking, like, this dude was glad he never did get on none of that stuff when he was around me. But he was in my room for a couple of days, and the dude, like, all he wanted to talk about was fighting. So after a day or two, I listened to it, and like on like the third day, I was just like, I started to feel some type of way about it. I was like, look, bro, I done heard how tough you are for the last 2 days. Now this is day 3. I'm starting to feel like, you know what I mean? Like, are you like testing me? Like, is that what's going on? Like, you got something to prove? Like, you want to fight? Cause like, if you want to get right, like we can. Like, and dude's like, no, man, it ain't nothing like that. No, everything's cool. And then like, the next thing I know, the door's opening up and he's leaving out with his stuff. Like he went and told him, like, get me out the cell with this dude. So I had to sell for myself for a couple days. Then the next thing I know after that, here comes the door opening up. And this little old man comes in. He's like, country? And I'm like, yeah, man, what's up? He's like, I'm Carl. And he like lifts his sleeve up to show me that he has a Confederate flag tattoo on his arms. So I'm like, that's cool, man. And we're in the cell, and it, like, one of the first things he said, he's like, I see you like tattoos. He goes, my niece is a world famous tattoo artist. She was on LA Ink. So by this time, like, I'm laying in my bunk, right? And I got this chick's autographed 8x10 glossy photo of this dude's niece right above my head, and it's taped up to the bottom side of his bunk. So I pull it off and hold it up there to him. I'm like, her? And he's like, yeah, that's her. So he's like, oh man, I gotta tell my mom this, which his mom is her grandmother. And so he's like, how do you get the phone? I'm like, you see that black dude out there with the dreadlocks? His name's Work. Just yell for him, say, hey, Work, I need the phone. So he did. He hollers out. He's like, hey, Work, can you bring me the phone? So the guy brings him the phone. He calls his mom up, and he's like, Mom, you'll never believe this. He's like, they just put me in a cell with this white dude, and he's cool as hell. And I started talking about my niece, and you know what he did? He pulls out a picture, and he's got her autograph and everything. So then after that, like, this dude's mom, her grandma, they were sending me like childhood photos of this woman, and they were like saying, you know, if I ever did get out, like, I was supposed to go hit her up for some tattoos. But then I found out what the dude was really in there for. Super Dave actually was like, yo, he's like, you know, old man got some weird charges, right? I'm like, nah, he told me he beat somebody with a baseball bat. So he's like, nah, I don't think so. So that's when I was like, yeah, bro. I went to the old man Carl. I was like, yeah, man, you gonna have to show me your paperwork because I heard some stuff about you. So he basically admitted it, what he was in there for, and he still showed me his paperwork, and I read it. And what he was actually in there for was digital penetration of a 12-year-old girl, and this dude was like 60. And I was just like, look, man, I'm not gonna beat you up or nothing like that. Like, I'm trying to get out of here and go home, but you can't stay in here in this cell with me because I'm not gonna have other people saying that I live with a chomo, and that's gonna, you know what I mean, that's gonna cause problems for me, and I'm trying to lay back and do my shit without no problems, and so you're gonna have to go. But yeah, after I said I could only remember checking somebody's paperwork once, then I thought about that story, so I felt the need to, and I'll probably think of another time too. You know, it was a long time ago, and I was in there a long time, so you know, just little things pop in my mind or whatnot. So I don't know. I'm a lot better from my sickness. Like I can tell. Like my voice sounds a lot better, but I'm still probably not back to 100%. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna post this video. If you guys want me to try and play guitar and sing you a song, let me know, and I'll put something out tonight. But just tell me if you want to hear it, I guess. Yeah, sorry it's been so long, and I'm gonna try and start, you know, like posting more stuff. But like I said before, like I really like been on the fence about, damn, should I even be doing this? Like, this is gonna get me in trouble. This is gonna, you know, like I got a big mouth, and I'm not scared to tell the truth. And the truth can get people hurt sometimes. And I don't even care about myself, but I got family, you know. I got moms and dads and brothers and sister-in-laws and nieces and nephews, and I couldn't live with myself if I got, you know, somebody that I loved in a bad situation. So yeah, I'm gonna try really hard to keep doing this without getting myself into trouble, and hopefully some of you guys are still with me. Hopefully some of you guys want me to keep doing this, because I mean, the only thing that's really keeping me doing this is you guys' comments telling me to keep going. Otherwise I would have probably stopped a long time ago. But I want to keep going, and I want you guys to want me to keep going. So like, comment, subscribe. What else do you say right now? I don't know. I just want to thank all of you again for sticking with me this long and hanging out. Oh, also, I'm thinking that it would be way easier for me to make videos if I go live and like just have you guys, you know, like interaction. You guys can ask me stuff in like real time, and we can just have discussions like that, rather than me to just freestyle off the top of my head and just talk about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that might be a good way for me to make better videos, you know, to like engage with some of you guys. And like I tried to go live a while back, and it whenever it did, it set it up to where I had to wait 24 hours, but that was like a week ago. So I'm pretty sure now if I hit that live button, like, I'm going live. But I guess I need to figure out like maybe a schedule to do that, or like when I come home from work every day, do it for like a half hour or an hour. Like, I get home from work at 4:30 Central Time, Monday through Friday. Also, I've been doing a lot of driving, like on the interstate, and I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to tell you guys about this, what I did last weekend too, because I wanted to make videos of it, but I didn't. But as I was, so somebody, one of you guys out there on YouTube, messaged me in a comment and asked me for my social medias, and I gave it, and they invited me to a sweat lodge, like a Native American. Like we went in a teepee at 150 degrees for an hour, and it was actually pretty rad. And I'm gonna go back. They invited me to start going every month, and I think I'm gonna do that because I dug it. Like I've always been into like shamanism, but not really that type of shamanism. So it was something new for me. But anyway, like I wanted to like make a video, like, because I drove like a 5-hour round trip to go to this thing. So I was thinking if I had my phone like on a mount in my car, like I could just make these videos while I was driving. Like I can't really do that while I'm at work because there's cameras all over the place and I'm not supposed to be on the phone. But like in my free time, like while I'm driving to these sweat lodges and whatever else awesome that I do, I can like take you guys with me and tell you about it. But I think that would have made a really cool video. But like when you pull into the place, it said like you are entering like sacred ancient ancestral grounds, enter at your own risk. And I didn't want to disrespect them. You know, it was my first time ever being there. Maybe after I go next month I could talk to them about it, like possibly making a YouTube video of the experience. But I didn't want to just roll up in there with cameras recording, you know, because I didn't want to disrespect them. And I felt really honored that, you know, that I was allowed to go there and practice that with them. So, yeah. Gonna get a camera mount so that I can start making videos while I'm driving these big long drives. And I want to try and bring you guys in on more of my personal life, I guess you could say. Like all I really do is work, but you know, I think that would have been a cool video of the sweat lodge. So anyway, I'm gonna post this right now, and if you guys want to hear me sing a song, let me know and I'll record one and put it up.